Welcome everyone to another live stream. The usual one more thing, our previous release was delayed 6 months. This T2 Linux release is delayed only 2 months. Nonetheless, we wait anyway. I guess any moment they probably release 6.1, I guess. By the way, did I post that too? Maybe I forgot. So we're still waiting for the Linux kernel to rebuild our worlds, our package worlds. So while we wait for that, we can also do one more thing, which is the last days I already did amazing improvements, KEXEC, so this is now supported by default as well. I should have done it a decade ago, but nonetheless now we have that too. And actually with now using UUIDs, I noticed suspend to disk was no longer working due to Symlinks. I fixed that too, so that suspend to disk works again. So doing that, I noticed 2 more things. One is I thought I cut down installation time further by, instead of rebooting, KEXEC executing. I'm not sure if other Linux distributions do that, but I don't usually care what the 1961 Linux distributions do. So we do our own thing here. We're basically our own warranty, and usually, at least 15 years ago, at the forefront of innovation. And now we are again, except systemd because it sucks. But anyway, KEXEC, and also why I did, I thought by default I add the resume argument there, resume equals whatever. Not both things, not the biggest deal. Also, oops, wait a second, I'm here, wrong focus. And as usual here on this channel, let's develop that together. So this is my last test installation. Activate an existing swap, and so I had that I had this installed multiple times. One fat there. Nothing like installing a Linux distribution with comic code font. Actually, let's hope that goes well. Actually, what I probably should also do is actually add Tmux, because that is a serial console. Let's hope that works. I'm not sure. I changed back recently. We changed to reset the console at the end of install, because okay, this is still a version that resets the console. I'm not the most happy. I will revert that. It usually was a good idea because the problem with that is the reset clears the screen, which is somewhat annoying. So I will actually redo that. So 2 changes we will change that, and this is also the usual work in progress, right? That the usual, not only at others, what I usually complain about, others the only constant is change and regressions, and then we do it ourselves. So adding a resume could break something. I would expect not, because unless there are bugs somewhere, which, spoiler alert, usually there are, because what that does is trying to resume. If there's nothing to resume, then don't do it. So yeah, so that worked. So I will hook this. Actually, I will probably not change. Theoretically, we need to re-ramp and rewrite the whole installer, because it obviously is Stone Age. It's already named Stone. What to expect from Stone Age. I'm aware of that. That is beyond the scope of this video and this year. The year is soon over anyway. And then we have to write a microkernel. But for me, the installation works. It's probably like FreeBSD and DragonflyBSD. Yeah, maybe I should install Free and DragonflyBSD and NetBSD and OpenBSD just to get some more BSD input. But so I will simply modify that. What could possibly go wrong, right? So the way this works, and I tested that. Where do we have? So yeah, let's go over. So this is why I have here already 2 Tmuxes, or multiple Tmuxes here. And so the reason I installed was serial is to have this readable. Also, people always think this serial install is vintage and stuff. Like, no, scripting, right? You would normally do this also for scripting development and stuff, and it's like amazing stuff. People always think like it's old-fashioned stuff. It's like, no, it's state-of-the-art scriptability, testability, unit testing, automation, containers, orchestration, and so on. Cheers. Somehow it's a recurring theme that I'm running out of coffee. So that is probably in Stone somewhere. Let's grab for reboot. Here's reboot F. So we will change this. So for a first test, I will actually Actually, there's is this reboot in here or here is shutdown or human stuff. I mean, it's funny that here we run shutdown R. I need to check myself. Where did we? This is probably overwritten because it is not a full init environment. I don't have init here. VI, that is of course. Yeah, so that is a obviously stripped down. Do we do well, interesting. And actually there is how many? No, only one. Theoretically, I did a major effort to normalize all the white space encoding style. Not sure how this slipped. So I guess theoretically, I mean, it's maybe partially superfluous. I also don't quite get why do we. I mean, all this non-old-fashioned sleep nonsense probably should be. If this is zoomed, it probably should be zoomed right. Not really sure why we sign at times. It's like what could possibly go wrong last minute removing is like how many data center data loss did you already hit last minute removing some sleep 1. By the way, is that here our kill equals to sleep 1 otherwise? So yeah, I had previously modified this for this new exit codes of the stuff. Yeah, so what do we run there? Did I change here? Base stone. So we simply, so for the first work in progress, I will simply YOLO that in here, the most cheap way. Like basically trying to KEXEC. What do we use? Oh, this is okay, probably run in bash context. And I by the way, like some separating new lines to keep like one code block off that's doing one thing and then the next. So the question is where so the point of that is to cut down another BIOS, or easily saving a minute or more depending on your memory training and number of CPU sockets and stuff. If you have some IBM power data center server and stuff, might even cut down the boot time by 2 or 5 minutes. The question is where exactly do we YOLO that in here? So -R, I mean, one thing is, and that is where Tmax comes in. Target generic, not to constantly flip-flop back and forth between working directories. Generic share install device. So the new thing, so what do we run? We run reboot. So I just changed our system reboot to run K. So this is patched. Let me F and K for KEXEC. So this is one step. So that would trying to use a magic cookie for reboot with KEXEC, and then we only need to. So the question is, where does it fit best into the installer? That is a little bit tricky. I would say not here, because that is just a reboot thing. You probably would not want that to do some KEXEC stuff. We could Actually, maybe we do that here. So like if you ask, like if you want to do manual stuff, then you get manual stuff. And otherwise, KEXEC, where's the U-mount stuff? So the U-mount stuff goes in shutdown. So MNT. So this is a little bit YOLOing here, which I mean should work. So this will only work. Like I mean, we should write it so that it works with one. More than one kernel installed. So, but I mean, usually you have only one kernel installed, at least in T2 default anyway. So we would need something like Linux version number and init.rd. And so ideally, maybe. So this is very hard coded, right? So this is just a proof of concept. Ideally, I would like the code to live somewhere more as an optional module. Just right now, I don't have a better place. Maybe a better place would be having a post-install package of the kernel, which might then also work for general installation, right? You update your kernel, and when you update your kernel, it registers as KEXEC, like for the next reboot, KEXEC. That might be the best way to do it, but time will show. So init.rd dash. So ideally we should, wait a second, did I recently rename that? I actually wanted to clean that up. Or did I, maybe I wanted to clean it up and did not do it yet, or because sometimes I think, oh no, I apparently did that. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, so historically that's a bloody underscore, like only one, which was, oh wait, there's still kconfig. Why do we have kconfig underscore still? Anyway, so using the way we could more foolproof that, so this will only work if there's only one kernel. And so ideally we anyway need support for more, because we need to check compressed and not. So a lot of architectures will boot wire the compressed flavor here. And so, I mean, for a quick test, we could use that, and then so basically adding the two more lines of code of properly extracting that, and then choosing set over X. And ideally, it would probably be the best idea to use the same version number here. So basically 3 lines of code or so, but let's see. So this also would use reuse command line, and we need to append the root. Do we have, we don't, does that, I'm not entirely sure. All right, can we extract this from the etcfs tab? We can. Does it work with, probably not, but let's see if this grabs something. Okay, that even works. Wasn't sure whether, but okay, we fill it with spaces, because often that is the thing if you use tabs. Okay, so then that is easy. Field 1 of that. We need to add this as root. And idea, so this is a little bit hard-coded, as I said. Proof of concept, we can at any later point in time make this even better. So init.rd, so let's line break that a bit. Root equals this good stuff here. So it's probably not a function, right? I mean, theoretically, we ideally want your version and stuff, but, or maybe at least VM Linux stuff, kernel. Maybe actually we should start with root. MT, etc, cut the stuff, oops, here, and then I think I pre-tested that. I'm not sure if it works for all architectures. I think the reuse command line and append. I looked briefly on the C source code of KEXEC tools. Might be tiny little bit implementation defined, but I mean, so if this fails, like worst case, in my opinion, worst case, if this doesn't properly reboot, you still, I mean, the worst case, it could try to reboot and hang. I have this with apparently some AMD GPU potentially here of all things. So it may not, it works in QEMU. It doesn't work on last year's RX 460, what I have here right now. Maybe it, all right, so it maybe does not work with all of AMD GPU, or I mean, this is a little bit annoying. I mean, this will be amazing for server systems, but maybe it doesn't work with all systems using EFI or other, like basically all desktop x86, or maybe even nearly all desktop. I guess you usually lose simple frame buffer boot graphics so that you don't have early print K Linux kernel console stuff. That is super annoying. Although it might actually work and recover itself, potentially maybe. Actually, the funny thing is we install without graphic driver, so yeah, I guess there is no Linux kernel KEXEC take over simple frame buffer, EFI frame buffer stuff. So yeah, but on servers, data centers, like if you install T2 in your data center or stuff, or other server, I wonder how many vintage RISC workstations support KEXEC if someone implemented it for HPPA or Sun or stuff. So yeah, I will test it another day. Shall I subscribe? We will test KEXEC on all the architectures. You know what? Putting money where my mouth is. So you have it coming eventually, probably next year. So KEXEC, Linux kernel, this is to be improved, init.rd, reuse command line, append, root equals that. And I guess we can, another benefit, can just paste it in here and this somehow. Good that we tested that. Why does this not want to work? All right, this probably doesn't autocomplete because, oh yeah, I see where this is going. Okay, so, and then, okay, we didn't modify the shutdown. So SED, so we don't have an editor here, but that doesn't stop me from reboot print shutdown. Okay, substitute. Oops, reboot to reboot. Okay. And then in place something like, oops, shit. Nothing like, yeah, Guru. I mean, who needs an editor if you have a streaming editor, right? Like, who needs actually, I should correct this. Who needs a visual editor when all you need is a stream editor. So, reboot KF, that probably, I mean, by the way, honestly, we actually probably can modify that, because why do we advertise this complex stuff when all you need is shutdown or not. Yeah. Is that not much more reasonable? I like simplicity. So, yeah, we modified, so we hot patched our shutdown thing. So let's see if that works. Hey, and it does work. Yay! Is it not like who does not find this amazing? And I have actually one more serious trick up to our sleeve that I wanted to implement for 12 months already. So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for one more amazing installation thing to come to T2. And so this is all like making the installation. So this is only, I mean, it's only pre-tested. We have saved that here, the professional working here, like 10x engineer guru meditating, developing your operating system installation with this simple QEMU and multiple terminal, serial terminal tricks. So this needs a little bit polishing, but this is like minor, like version number instruction and stuff. And so yeah, that is a fresh installation. Is that not like, and I mean, obviously, if you, so this saves us even in QEMU, right? Bam, and you're booted, right? So I previously made a video, I probably can redo my video. Previously I made a video installing T2 in 4 minutes or stuff. I think in the meantime we are down to it's like 5 minutes. I think probably in the meantime, Epic and thread wrapping and all the amazing optimizations and improvements in T2. I guess in the meantime it's like install T2 Linux in 3 minutes with this simple trick. Is that not? If that is not something, then tell me what's something. Anyway, so that was one thing. Of course, I still need to finish that. Maybe I do this later after the live stream. The other thing that, like one more thing, was the Suspend stuff. And so for that, I think for now I only do this in the grub bootloader. So theoretically, we would need to do that for each bootloader. And very theoretically, I guess it would even be amazing if we would share more code, shell scripting code between the bootloader implementation enablement. But for today, most architectures, including PowerPC, are using grub anyway. So probably I should check if that is already implemented for RISC-V and Suspend and resume, but maybe not. This kind of stuff I would potentially need to implement myself. But what was it? How was it called? I have no idea what was the BSD disk label. Maybe not. What is the kconfig for that? Hibernate? Maybe it was Hibernate. Come on. That was RISC-V, right? Yeah, this was RISC-V. 6. Arch Hibernate, yeah, so maybe RISC-V doesn't have Hibernate. I mean, we could, no, I don't have all builds. How many other architectures would support this? So, grub. And so that basically would mean so the difference is VT102 and stuff, so that's why I have that. Would you recommend upgrading to 6.1 kernel or wait? So I personally, I mean, I run 6.1, so usually I don't waste my time. I probably answered that previously with release candidate or .0 version. But I mean, .1 will be released probably today or tomorrow stuff, I guess. But in this case, previous video, right now we have a performance uplift of 3 to 60%. And even like it makes my Geekbench 3.5% faster, right? So in this rare occasion, actually 6.1 was amazing, but I guess, I mean, that's an outline, right? We will not, this is a once in a decade event, but otherwise, I mean, sure, if you easily can do it, otherwise .1 will be out today anyway. But even in this, rare occasion. Actually, we have, speaking about more main channel, right? T2 is now, you can now support our efforts with your company and stuff, buying your own proper T2 Soho embedded or enterprise Linux license. And putting more money where our mouth is, actually, there is a new Linux kernel, I think. Also, we now approach 5,000 packages, right? Our friends community and Data AI bot do not stand still. We work 24/7, 365 days of the year. And probably, which am I here? Probably there's full list. And so we now approach 5,000 packages. So nearly 700 packages automatically added from the interwebs to T2, which obviously adds to all this amazement, right? Linux 6.0.14. So even in this rare event of amazing performance, I waited for the .1 just out of, I was tempted, but hey, we become an increasingly amazing Linux distribution, so I'm obviously not spoiling my reputation of unbugging and fixing and patching everything. And in that time frame, you see there are 2 stable release kernel updates, .13 and .14. So for really stable business customers, it's probably way better to stay on that train. So grub. And so basically, do we add swap device here? Maybe that would, or do we call it resume device? Or did I even, how do we call this? Root dev. So root dev, boot dev, and so NTCFS tab. We have that there. So maybe we simply keep this here in line. That probably would make sense. Keeping things symmetrically, stupid simple. Swap. So yeah, resume would be longer, and that is technically swap. So why not? I guess that could be right. And then do we actually, if diff? So yeah, theoretically, I should test. I have no idea if the Linux kernel supports. So yeah, for now, I will just another proof of concept, and then we will have the next weeks and months reports trickling in where it works and where it doesn't. Again, it shouldn't cause harm, because you can always, most people don't use it, and if you use it, then it would not have worked without that, and it only, instead of not working, at least you have some chance that it works. Because what we would need to do, we would need to have other device mapper and stuff code, and I would need to test this. I have no idea. I've never used resume from that from LVM2 and encrypted and stuff. But it's like, yeah, I could, like, you want to share, like, subscribe, Patreon, and YouTube membership and all the good stuff, right? And that is all the stuff, right? Attention to detail and stuff, like there is not like one way to do that. There's like, even there, dozens of options of, did you logic volume management that, did you encrypt that, and so on and so on. It's like, yeah, basically we do that here, right? And then test swap from LVM and go there, or crypto. Get the ID. So, get your ID. Do we have? All right. So that is we only need this for. Good. So. Where is our and no config? Where do we UUID create kernel list probably, and then somewhere here, like basically what we need is always, so this is the kind of stuff, even though doing that for 25 years, and welcome everyone, there's a kind of stuff I always forget, this default like unset and stuff. So swap def, like if it is, what was this? Let's see, oh no, we want set and def. So basically we want resume equals swap def, that probably should something like that. Let's swap def vda2, whatever. Yes, that works. So what this basically does, this is extremely short form. I wish it would be more readable, but it is what it is. And so that basically adds here this resume equals that stuff. So basically if swap device is set, then resume equals. It probably should be all that is needed. Let's try that. So now we have root boot. Do we probably, should we? I mean, we don't really need to list it here, right? This is probably just confusing. Root equals, don't see that there on. Root equals long stuff. Somehow that did not just work. Oops. Maybe this grep here is wrong. Let's see what's it. Shields. Yeah, so that doesn't. Why not? What? What stupid? Oh wait, this is the wrong. We need etcfs tab. That is probably. I mean, we could. Should we use this one? Why would we use progmons? Should we? What do we tail and then substitute the first space? I guess that would be. I mean, if we would. Usually, I keep the same style until there's a problem. I guess the fs tab should be valid. Not really sure why. Maybe there were reasons once upon a time. But usually I keep the same style until it is necessary. Old stuff. I guess that again did not yet work as intended. It gets a little bit long kernel command line thing there though. Oh, swap did I? Maybe I mistyped that. Yeah, swaps. Oh, wait. We don't need to grep for that, actually. So usually I would I would use tail and stuff directly, but given just to keep the symmetry here, I guess we keep it like that for now. Resume diff VDA2. Actually, wait a second. Why is this VDA2 and not... actually, maybe this will not work reliable. Okay, so much to KEXEC stuff. Then I change this to etcfs tab. Because the thing is that if the same reason we use UUID elsewhere. If you're wondering why do we use this UUID to start with, to have stable, to have this working stable. Otherwise, each boot, the enumeration order might be randomly or not actually. I wanted to do some things better here with my, how I call things. Many people always call this randomly. Actually, it's not randomly, it's timing. I mean, okay, in this case, you might still be calling it randomly, but like timing related different orders and like, yeah, unstable orders. So this is why we actually use this UUID stuff, right? And etcfs. Because otherwise it might randomly not work in timing related ordering things. And that is the time it takes for development, right? Always you think like it's a 10-minute change. It's like, yeah, 10-minute change plus testing plus the first trying out how to do that. So yeah, now we have resume dev, how I wanted that. Dev disk by UUID and stuff. So that should be on the file system now, right? etc bootstrap config, Linux and stuff, root resume and stuff. And so now let's check that out. This power, and so we zimped that. Is that new enough? No, I don't know if I just yesterday fixed actually Zimlinks to work. Let's init-rd. Yeah, this is the new version with capital L folds following Zimlinks. So then, probably should work. And then when we reboot, and we have resume there. Oops, oh shit. That should bring us straight. Darn. Why did we lose? I didn't add the console. So, this. You know what? Actually might have worked. Might have worked or not. Wait a second. So much to. I mean, that is what we have tested. What we have testing for. And that is why QA is important, and like firing all your developers and QA people like Elon Musk at Twitter leaves you with a pretty broken platform sooner than later. So I didn't add console in here, but should this not have worked from... No, I'm... So somehow that's not sure. So, I mean, this was not... Tempting to resume. Oh, wait. No, this is the wrong... maybe -LL was not enough. Okay, so there you see, that is how it works when it doesn't work. Okay, so this init-rd was not enough. I thought I had tested that. Was there more than I thought it was? Was it not? Maybe it was -h. No, L is LL. Okay, maybe the init-rd is new enough, but maybe the init-rd, I didn't rebuild it yesterday. Let's rebuild the init ID. Probably that is all that is needed then. And I mean, obviously the next build, it's just, if you just fixed something yesterday and didn't rebuild all your ISO, then obviously you didn't have that change in there. And that's part from, it's by the way also how I thought this yesterday, right? So we need to sync that. Yesterday I made the mistake of, I didn't sync it and then it wasn't on the file system. So I guess that is all that should have been needed. Right. Nah. Bloody if was not working in this camera combination, which is why this is needed. So it probably should give us a console, but if we want to see the early boot messages and stuff, then we need TY0. Usually you would add that permanently, obviously. So yeah, that worked. Attempting to resume from 1254:2. I'm not sure where this virt.io stuff. Probably that is some virt.io event sync handling stuff of queues partially processed or stuff. Probably some bug to be fixed upstream, I guess. So yeah, that's that. And then let's commit these changes. I mean, I still have some other stuff to finalize. This was we want, what do we want? Boot group 2, that's basically all I need today. A benefit of, yes, subversion stuff, but hey, my productivity is 10 times higher with subversion for our tiny little unbroken all architecture supported Linux. And until this changes, that is what it is. Copy the new etc stone module for group 2 here, diff it, and I guess call it a day. Proved stone mod group 2 to add swap device as resume. Suspend disk. I guess that says it all. So that's it for this video. I still need to finish that off camera here, but you get the idea. Basically everything pre-tested, pre-implemented, pre-coded, prepared, and pre-tested. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something. As usual, there's many more videos to watch. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, Patreon, GitHub sponsorship, and all the good stuff. And have a good day and night. And see you soon.